Yo, what is up, guys? It's me, Eve, again here, playing Tokyo Ghoul Break the Chains, and Legacy Banner is finally coming in. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the characters who should you be picking and why, and other stuff. The important stuff that you need to know is that the Carnival reruns should be happening soon as well. We got a little bit more leaks on them as well. So you should be very careful with how you spend your legacy, because the reruns could be again pretty much next banner, or there could be after one. Again, we don't know yet. So just purely because of that, be very careful with how you spend your stuff. And again, with that said, now you know that you should be careful. Maybe only go for one of copies of each character that I'm going to talk about on this one, and you can probably stop with the legacy banner and don't go too crazy on it. Again, carnivals are very important, especially those two units that are coming in on the reruns. Is going to be Psy Ayato and the Psy Amon. So very important units, you can't miss them, to be honest. But other than that, let's talk about this banner. So there's a lot of characters here you can see for yourself, but most of them are already on the exchange shop or were already out in the game. So there's only a few limited characters that are left. It's gonna be Red Arima, it's gonna be the Akira, it's gonna be the backup Renji, the Itori, Ryoko, Rabbit, Teen Hina, Green Toka, and Combat Kaneki, and the Christmas Can. So those are the more of a limited characters. Again, I'm still gonna use Red Arima as the more of a limited character, because there's, like, for example, he's not in exchange or anything like that, so there's a little bit harder to get compared to some other characters, like for example Ito or Tatara that are in exchange. So you can really easily get them passively just by playing, but still you can easily get Arima as well, but not as easy as those two, for example. As well, the same goes for the backup Renji and Itori, for example. There's a lot of ways to go for them, but still they're kind of limited compared to some of the other characters that are in exchange. But the characters that I would recommend you to get is definitely gonna be the three here. It's gonna be the Green Toka, it's gonna be Combat Can, and it's gonna be the Light God Arima, so the Red Arima basically. I recommend you getting these three characters as your main. First of all, because they're the 300 units, so they got skipped, for example, on the new servers. For the newer players, you couldn't get them, and again, you'll probably not be gonna be able to get them after this legacy banner. Only if there's not gonna be another legacy rerun, then you'll be able to again get them. But other than that, for a long time, you'll probably not gonna get it. So because of that, I recommend going for these two at least. Other than that, there's also a Teen Hina as another replacement if you're gonna build one of the best Anteiku supports. Teen Hina is also away, as well as she's very important for your weekly challenges. So again, she's also just good unit to get for the weekly challenges sake. Arima is still a really solid pick, because again, even if there's a way to get him, he still requires a lot of investments, and getting him to triple S is gonna be a little bit harder. So because of that, I still recommend you going for him. Also, there is Rabbit, but Rabbit is again only for those who are looking to build Anteiku, and because of that, maybe you can consider getting yourself Rabbit. Other than that, you probably shouldn't be going for that. So in terms of best characters to go for, Combat Can, best backup character for the Aogiri, very important. Green Toka, one of the best units in this game in general, just purely because of her charm, as well as what she does for the Anteiku. If you're gonna build Anteiku, you can't build her without Green Toka, so if you're not gonna get her, you might not even you might forget about ever building Anteiku, at least until there's not gonna be better characters than Anteiku that can replace her. But she's irreplaceable in that team for now, so you definitely need her. Same goes for Teen Hina. If you're not gonna be building Anteiku, there's not much use for Teen Hina except for like weekly challenges and some PvE content. but in PvP, definitely if you're not using her in Anteku, there's no point. But again, in Anteku, she's also an irreplaceable unit, so if you're not gonna get her, you might as well forget about ever using Anteku until, at least until, again, they release any character for Anteku that can replace her. And Rabbit is also replaceable, kind of, because, for example, on a higher end, Ol is much better when like you get the Ol for the maxed out stars, sorry, maxed out like triple S, as well as you get his God Cell. He's much better than Rabbit, but if you don't have the God Cell, as well as you don't have much of investments on Ol, then Rabbit is going to be much more better, especially for only for Anteku, I guess, because other than that, Rabbit is nowhere used over anything else. Light Armor is still one of the best characters in the game, one of the core units for the CCG, so you can just put him because he's a good unit, even if you have him on D already. Just getting a few more copy passively is still always good, just for that sake, because he's that good. But he needs kind of a build, but still, when you will get him to a very high end, he's gonna perform really well, as well as you kind of need him for the Senti battle, because you need crits, and because of that, Red Armor is a really good unit. And for that, you will need to have him in your team to finish up the Senti. Maybe there's going to be other ways people will figure out, but for now, everyone finishes it with mostly with CCG. Sometimes with CCG plus Aogiri, something like that happens also. But for the most part, you will need at least one player who uses CCG to finish it. And because of that, the Red Armor is just really good. So because of that, I recommend going for him as well. Other than that, like Christmas Can is not a good idea. He's not used anywhere. Mask Range is an exchange character, so no for him. The Ryoko is a whale character, so you need to have her on maxed out stars, on triple S, as well as you need to have her really good build for her, and then she could be useful in some PvE modes, not in PvP though. In PvP, no one uses her, but in PvE she sees some use. But again, she's a whale character for that reason, probably. Itori also, there's a few ways to get her for free from like exchange. There's some chests as well. As well as there's chests in the auctions that you can get her from. Tatura, Ito, both of them in exchange, so no. All also in exchange. Backup Rangy, also the same as Itori and Ryoko. You can get them from a few places. As well as there's in the training, there's a new fragment sweep, so you can get him from there as well, so no for him as well. Akira is a limited character, but the problem is Akira doesn't exist in this game anymore, unfortunately. She's really good on the higher end when you have very big investments in her, but unfortunately she gets overshadowed by mostly all of the new good debuffers in the CCG, as well as just purely all of the damage dealers in the CCG. They just take over her place, and because of that she just doesn't have any use for her. Maybe there's going to be some use in the future if she gets some like something interesting, or her gut cell actually has a very good use, because for the most part I don't think anyone really went for her gut cell, because everyone is getting the Senti or like the Red Arima gut cell, so because of that she doesn't have much use yet. Hina again, also just useless character. Awakened Ken, useless character, and Red Toka is also useless character. And Red Arima, great character to go for. So this is the 3 characters I recommend going for everyone. Like, if you're a Aogiri player, go for these 3 characters. If you're a CCG player, the same goes for you. If you're an Anteku player, same goes for you, just purely because these 2 are limited and they're still meta, so because of that you'll later need them for the most part. And for the Red Arima, just because he's a good pick that you will not lose anything. Or you definitely need to go for these 2, and the last one you should pick between King Hina and probably Red Arima. I would recommend going for Red Arima, but Teen Hina is also a good pick if you just don't have the Hina. Just get one copy of her. It would be nice, good enough for you to, in future, you can just start her up to at least 3 stars to use her in the weekly challenges or something like that. Other than that, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and don't forget that the reruns for the carnival is also happening, so be careful with your summons on the legacy banner. Spend wisely, don't forget about that. And also don't forget to join the Discord. I stream every day and I post notifications about that there, as well as if you have any questions, you can put them there or in the comments below. I'll try to answer them. And just purely have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.